Hi Stitchy friends, and welcome to Mother Buck's Cross Stitch. I'm Terry, also Mother Buck. Today I'm going to show you what I've done in the last couple of weeks. I've put a lot of stitching in. I'm not sure how much of it is actually visual, but anyway, we'll start out with our temperature chart, and I am up to date through the 5th of March. I had one color of floss that I didn't have that I had to go shop for, and I found that, and now I've completed all of the old empty spots. I'm doing high temperature one day, low temperature the next day, alternating back and forth. And really from a distance, it probably looks like it's just the same color being alternated back and forth, but there is slight differences. It's sort of a very slight ombre change in the colors, so they're not real prevalent unless you have a drastic change in temperatures. And that's one reason I went to the every other day high and low, just so it didn't have one color all the way through and added some interest to the piece. I think it's looking pretty good. I'm anxious to get over to this side, which will be after I finish March. I believe I go down after I finish March. But I am enjoying it. It's easy to do. It's a quick thing. I wait for about 6 days before I go ahead back and put in those 6 days because the blocks are small. There's only a dozen or so stitches in each block. So I do go back and forth about once a week. And I think it's looking pretty good. I'm pleased with it so far, and I'm pleased that I've stuck with it so far. I'm into the 3rd month, which is good. Hopefully I can continue through the year, and we'll have a nice piece to display. Next time I do one, I think I will set my own colors and make them a little more drastic changes. Instead of an ombre change, I may do a more drastic change just so I have a more colorful piece. Colors are the first thing that draw me to a piece. The subject matter, of course, I like, but I want those colors to be vibrant. I just love the colors in floss, and that's one of the things I look for first when I look at a pattern. That's the thing that draws me to it immediately. And you'll see when I continue on today what I mean by that. So that's that piece. Next, we have our Heaven and Earth Designs 2025 SAL. Now, since last time, I've put in about 4,000 stitches, which in a matter of 2 weeks is really good for me. I am not a quick stitcher. I'm not a fast stitcher. I do stitch two-handed, but still not very fast. Doing a 10 stitch on the SAL has helped me enormously to speed up my time, and I still love the way it looks. Let me get the needle out of the way here. This is where I am now. At the point I'm at now, there's another portion right here. It goes about this far. The point I'm at now, majority of my stitches, the majority of my colors only have 200 or less stitches. So I'm just going color by color now. So I'm just filling in as I go. I got the large portions with the black and the navy blue all done. Now I'm just filling in with those small portions that are 200 stitches or less. And so it's a little bit slow going for that as far as seeing a difference because it's just shading and detail, but it does make a difference. And like I said, 4,000 stitches for me is fantastic. I'm really pleased with it. I like the way that it's looking. It's looking better and better to me. And the fact that it's 10 stitch is something new to me. And I'm enjoying it, and I think I might use that several times more especially with full coverage pieces, because it is something that looks good as well as gives you that progress that you're looking for. Because a full coverage piece, everyone I've done previously has been full cross stitch, and it does take an enormous amount of time. Because I'm on a time restraint for this one, to meet the goals for the SAL itself, I wanted to do something that might move it along a little faster, and this seems to be doing it. Now, I would like to have this plus this other section done by the end of March. That's not going to happen. But I will be well on the way. I think by the end of March, I may be down to where this section is finished, and I only have this piece over here, this partial page over here. And I'll be perfectly happy with that, because that's going to be 3 pages right there. And I will be very happy with that. I'm considering whether I want to continue over here when this is complete, or if I want to go down, because then in April they will release the portion down here, and I'm thinking I might want to just move my Aida up and go down here. I am working on 16 count Aida, and it is 1/1. I take that back. It's 2/1. I haven't touched it in a week, so like between the stitches I get confused as to what's what. Anyway, it's 2/1. So that is the Jelly World, and we will be seeing this again because I'm giving you progress on this every time I film. Now, the next thing is the Whipco board. Now, my Whipco board for this week, I was caught up with February's. I got February's finished. March's numbers were 9 and 24. Number 9, you can see I already have it done. And for me, number 9 was dealer's choice. In other words, I could work on whatever I wanted to work on. And 24 was for a couple of hours of backstitching. And I will probably go back to my mason jar lineup, which I worked on the last backstitch square, and do the backstitching on that. I think I'm almost finished with it, so I would like to continue with it with the backstitch. I think I have backstitching on here at least one more time. Yeah, I do, up here in number 4. So that should complete that project for me. Number 9 on the dealer's choice, March happens to be my birthday month. So even though, of course, I wasn't going to start any more whips, I decided that I wanted to do something different for my birthday month. And I chose one from Tidy Patterns. It's called, the only title I could see on it was GO22. And it is a multitude of colors put on in squares. It's hard to explain, and it just varies from one color all the way. It's like a rainbow, only pixelated. That's the good word for it. It's pixelated. Most of these squares are only 9 stitches, so it goes really fast. It's very enjoyable because I've got those bright colors again. This is what I was talking about before when I said you'll see later what I'm talking about. You'll see later what I mean by I enjoy the colors. That's the reason I picked this one. I had multitude of patterns and charts that I was going through, and this one just kept standing out to me, and it's because of the color choices. I just love the bright colors like that, and it makes it enjoyable for me to work on. So for my dealer's choice, I was to have 300 stitches in dealer's choice, and I actually had 706 stitches, and this is the beginnings of it. And it just gives you an idea of the colors that are going to be in there. And you can see how it's just bright, vibrant colors. I love the fact that it's just these little pixelated squares. They go really fast. There's not a whole lot of detailed counting involved. There's no fractals in it at all. So it's going to be very fun to do, and I think it's going to go really fast. And it's one of those very relaxing stitches. It's not one, sometimes on the very complex ones with the fractals or with a lot of detail, those are not necessarily as relaxing. This is very relaxing. I love working on this. I have to put it down and make myself work on something else or do something around the house. Otherwise, I'd be sitting with this one all the time. But I do have 700 stitches, 706 stitches into this, and I will continue to show you through the month how it's going. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. If anybody else is working on this, I would love to see your progress, or if you have a finished one, I'd love to see it, just to see what the finished piece looks like. Even though it's small squares, it's got a texture to it just because of the full cross stitch. This is 14 count, 2/1, and the textural part of just the stitches, the way they lay, is really gratifying to see. And as a whole piece, I can imagine that it's going to be really interesting and fun to look at. So I'm anxious to complete this. I'll show you some of the colors for it, and you can see what I mean about the bright, vibrant colors. These are just some of them. Some of them are in other projects right now, so I will have to get those out as I get to them. But I think they are absolutely beautiful. You just about cover every color in the rainbow here. And I think it's going to be, I know it's going to be so much fun to work on. And that's about it for this time. Be sure and let me know how you're doing with your Heaven and Earth Designs SAL. I'd love to see your progress. I know a lot of you are completed already with your first quarter section. That's fantastic. I love seeing those. And I'm hoping that by next time I will be well on the way to finishing this. I would like to have another couple of thousand stitches into it by the time I see you next time. But until then, happy stitching and have a wonderful day.